There are no ordinary people. That's one of my favorite C.S. Lewis quotes. There are no ordinary people. Hello, this is Kenny Underwood coming to you from 1 Minute Sermon. You ever think that the little things that you do for God really don't amount to much? You see all the great things that are going on around the world, but you just don't think that the little things that you do make much of a difference. Well, you know, nothing could be further from the truth. Rich Stearns, in his new book, Unfinished, tells a lot of stories about little things making big differences. And he talks about a story about a young man that worked for World Vision. And this young guy, his name is Steve Reynolds. And you might go, Steve who? But Stearns goes on to say that Steve has perhaps had the single greatest impact on global poverty, the AIDS pandemic, and economic justice on the planet in the last 20 years. And it seems that Steve, back in 1985, was the communications guy for World Vision in Ethiopia. And Ethiopia was experiencing the worst famine in a generation. It was despicable. So it was Steve's job to get the word out. One day Steve gets a call saying that a couple wants to come and visit and see what's going on there. And the name of the couple was Allie and Paul Hewson. Allie and Paul joined Steve, and he's thinking they won't last in these conditions very long, but nothing could be further from the truth. They rolled their sleeves up and they got busy, and they did what they could do to help. And Paul was a musician. He used to write little songs about hygiene and about eating your vegetables and that kind of thing. And when they left, after a month of being there, they were committed to going out and spreading the news of the poor and the terrible things that were going on there in Ethiopia. Paul's better known today as Bono. When he left, he rejoined U2, and they continued to travel the world. And Bono became an ambassador, and he's met with presidents and kings and queens. He's lobbied Congress and Parliament, and he's made a huge difference, along with a lot of help from other people, for the poor and the destitute in this world. You know, he was actually nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002, and in 2005 he was named Time's Person of the Year along with Bill and Melinda Gates. In Rich Stearns' book, Bono says, "All of this started for me in Ethiopia in the mid-'80s when my darling wife and I went out there as children, really, to see and to work in Africa. World Vision marketer Steve Reynolds played a key role. Bono says, honestly, there's no chance that I would be here if World Vision hadn't called me up and asked me to make that journey. It's a journey that changed my life forever." So when you think the little things that you're doing for God don't matter, just remember that God can use whatever we do to accomplish amazing things in this world. Paul knew it in 1 Corinthians when he said, "There are different kinds of gifts, but the same Spirit distributes them. There are different kinds of service, but the same Lord. There are different kinds of working, but in all of them and in every one, it is the same God at work." There's your 1 Minute Sermon. God bless.